Welcome inside the locker room on the Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life, love sports as well. Apologies for the late start. Technical hitches being sorted out. And we've gotten all the gremlins out of the system and we are ready to go. Ayokunmi here. Great to have you on board as always. Joining me this morning is the one and the only Tega Supreme. Tega, very good morning to you. Great to have you in on the locker room.
Yep, thank God it's
I
Friday.
second the
Okay.
motion.
All right. So first of all, yes, let's apologize for the late start, and we are so sorry to have kept you waiting. But because we have run out of time, Ayo, can we just quickly jump right through all the stories we have lined up for today?
All
Oh,
right,
sorry.
looking at
Let's take the numbers of how they can join the show, and then we jump right straight into the stories.
All right, we'll do that. I'll give the numbers. We'll take a quick break. When we come back in, we'll jump into the stories real quick. So 0809-444-0981. 0809-444-0981. That is the WhatsApp number. You can also join us on YouTube. We're streaming at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. Studio line is 0201 4489981. A number of things for us to get through this morning. I will begin on the other side of this very, very quick breather right here. Don't go anywhere. The locker room, Smooth Breakfast on Smooth 98.1. Let's just play the 8:30 ad and get it out of the way. So should we still start from the beginning? Alcaraz all the way down.
And let's just start from Alcaraz, and then start from Alcaraz, skip F1, and go straight into football.
Okay, Alcaraz, skip F1. That. All right, welcome back into the locker room this beautiful Friday morning on Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. Ayokunmi here. Tega also in with me this morning. It's time to take a dive into the sporting stories. Once again, the WhatsApp number remains 0809-444-0981. You can send your messages to us. Also join us on YouTube at Smooth 981 FM Lagos. All right, Tega, let's jump into some tennis here. And I will call you a soothsayer because you kind of talked about this a couple of days ago concerning the Paris Masters. Now, world number two, Carlos Alcaraz, was knocked out of the Paris Masters by 18th ranked Hugo Humbert of France, who swept to a third round victory in 3 sets on Thursday. Paris Masters doing its thing.
Paris, exactly, bloody. So remember that they had knocked out Andrei Rublev, they had knocked out Daniel Medvedev. Djokovic didn't come here to defend his crown, and then Yannick Sinner had to pull out before his first match because of due to illness. So Carlos Alcaraz was supposed to be the man to take it. Hugo Humbert shocked him last night because first set. I would say this. Yes, Carlos Alcaraz had his moments. A lot of unforced errors. At first, his backhand was not working, and so Hugo Humbert realized very early and kept sending the ball towards his backhand. But it was the brilliance of Hugo Humbert because when Carlos Alcaraz lifted his form in the second set
Mm.
and won that second set by 6 games to 3 after losing the first set, winning just one game. But people were, well, okay, let's see how it goes. Because Carlos Alcaraz looked like he was getting back. Ugo Humbert shut out all the noise. The only
Mm.
time he let the noise in was when they were cheering him. And then he focused on his game. There were several service games that Carlos Alcaraz could have broken him. And maybe should have broken him on a different day. But last night, Carlos couldn't. And when Carlos blinked, Ugo Humbert took advantage of it. And broke him to win the match. So tough one for Carlos Alcaraz. The problem with Carlos Alcaraz is he's very brilliant, but on the days that he's struggling, he struggles even mentally to see his way out. People like
No
Yannick
middle,
Sinner,
no middle ground.
no middle ground. Yeah, people like Yannick Sinner can play their way out of a bad day. Djokovic can play his way out of a bad day. Carlos Alcaraz, is either good or he's bad.
Mm. All right. Let's see how that pans out at the end of the day in Paris Masters. All right, let's move over to some footballing stories. And of course, let's talk about Manchester United, Chelsea as well. Man United hit the reset button again by sacking manager Erik ten Hag, with the team mired in mid-table mediocrity. And Ruud van Nistelrooy will be in charge for the home Premier League game against Chelsea on Sunday.
So did I tweet at you when this was happening? But I know I did post a message because when Manchester United got in the Carabao Cup, I did not expect that this same Manchester United team that were looking for goals like dark cat on a black night, they, they had scored 3. I was like, wait, which Manchester United team is this one? And it was the free-flowing nature with which even the midfielders were coming to score goals. I was like, what? So it was new manager bounce, but that kind of bounce shouldn't have bounced like that. 5 goals in one match. It was ridiculous, almost as if we should tie them up to a chair and ask them, wait, did you seriously, were you bad or did you really want to go?
But Tega, remember in the previous round against Barnsley, they scored 7 goals and then goal drought. I still
that
can't
was
explain how that happened.
that was Barnsley. I would score 7 goals against Barnsley with any team I handpicked. This was Leicester City. And this was a Manchester United that was struggling for goals. The free-flowing nature of their football, it could have been more. And
It could have been more.
it's really, yeah, it was new manager bounce. Yes, they considered 2 goals, but I don't know. But yeah, so after that brilliant display of goal scoring, because defensively there's still 1 or 2 questions, but goal
Mm.
scoring, they seem not to have a problem. After that brilliant display, and Chelsea, on the other hand, losing midweek and by to Newcastle and being knocked out of the tournament. Sunday's match between Manchester United and Chelsea is going to be bloody because now we're waiting to see whether the new manager bounce will stop bouncing, whether the oil has dried up quickly. And I think, interestingly, for a coach that is a temporary coach, Ruud van Nistelrooy has been giving a lot of interviews. Like, he's talking too much. Interim. And you're already talking too much. You're already hearing
They're,
your voice.
they're asking him question and he's answering.
No, sometimes you need to know when to walk away, when to hide yourself. But he's making himself available, almost like he's auditioning. That, hey, don't go and look for another coach. Take me. If Vice Company can be coach at Bayern Munich, why can't I be coach at Manchester United? But the news is that whilst they're waiting to hire a permanent coach, and Amorim, the coach that everybody has touted to replace Erik ten Hag, has said he's
Mm.
going to give clarification today. Ruud van Nistelrooy is going to be in charge of Sunday's match between Chelsea and Manchester United, and that's going to be a tough one. If Manchester United truly have hit the reset button, Chelsea would test them, because regardless of the result that happened midweek, with Chelsea losing and getting dumped out of the Carabao Cup, the truth of the matter is Chelsea still plays free flowing football. They're fluid. They can test your defense. and sometimes they can make it hard for you to score them. So the ultimate test for the new bounce or for the reset button being hit would be on Sunday. All right. So let's take your messages. What do you think would happen when Manchester United meet Chelsea? Is it going to be an interesting one, or is it going to be back to normal for Manchester United? The numbers to send your messages to are
The number to send your messages to on WhatsApp is 0809 0809 That is the WhatsApp number. You can also drop a message on YouTube. That's Smooth 981 FM Lagos, and I will take it before the end of the show. I'm just laughing because I'm just thinking about, going back to status quo in that game on Sunday. Well, fingers are crossed that will not happen. That bounce will keep bouncing even
amen.
after
All
that.
right.
All right, let's still stick with some Premier League and footballing stories here. I mean, Pep Guardiola has been talking, and he says that Manchester City have 13 players and are in trouble after his side suffered more injuries in the League Cup defeat at Tottenham on Wednesday. When he
Yes.
rains, it pours.
Yeah, I think when I saw Savinho being stretchered off, I was like, oh my goodness, who didn't pay their tithes at Manchester City? That's one too many injuries. But it was also interesting. Erling Haaland was sitting on the bench. Manchester City was looking for goals. And Pep Guardiola was like, oh, look, if these kindergarten children cannot get the goals, we are not risking Erling Haaland for Carabao Cup. It was the way he ignored Erling Haaland and just kept sending in the children on. But yes, Manchester City are in a tough spot, albeit it was the way they were completely torn apart by Tottenham that was interesting. Back you, Tottenham somehow sometimes know how to play Manchester City. Pep Guardiola has always struggled.
Especially at home.
Yes, yeah, especially against Tottenham Hotspur when Tottenham Hotspur at home. Usually, sometimes they could squeeze out a win, but usually it's a tough one. And so last season's draw really quickly comes to mind or immediately comes to mind. So it's usual for them to struggle, but the way they were ripped apart, I was like, is this the same Tottenham? I remember we had spoken about them that, even if they lose against Manchester City, it will be called bottling because nobody really expects them to win. Well, it turned out that they could have bottled that match because there were opportunities, especially in the second half, for Manchester City to come in. Unfortunately, Manchester City had a player called, is it John Wright? John Wright? Yes, I know his surname is Wright. John Wright, who was doing everything wrong. Because even when the ball was played at his feet, he had several shots, and some of them were very close, but none of them really went to where they were supposed to go to. So a tough day for Manchester City. Like I still said, they could have won the game ultimately, but it came down to the poor shooting, and you can say half those boys don't even play for the senior team, so he can make the excuses. However, Manchester City are now out of the Carabao Cup officially. And Pep Guardiola is now crying that he has only 13 players. Well, my answer to him is that you need only 11 to play the match.
Well.
At every point in time on the field, you need only 11. So pick the 11 that can run for 2 hours.
Well, hopefully.
And you're playing against Bournemouth. I mean, come on.
And I mean, for his sake, out of the 13 players, hopefully no one gets injured anymore. If not, well, I wish him all the best. That's all I can say. He's the one getting paid the big bucks, not me.
Exactly. He should think through it. All right.
All right. Let's head over to Italy, where revitalized Napoli face a demanding test when they welcome in-form Atalanta on Sunday, hoping to solidify top spots in the Serie A, while second-placed Inter Milan host Loli Venezia. Atalanta scoring goals, Napoli not scoring too many, but getting the points.
Exactly. Napoli had been taking their time to win their matches by maybe one single goal margin here. Sometimes they score 2 goals in a game, but they've not necessarily needed to score as many. They just score what they need. Atalanta, on the other hand, playing expansive, expressive football, scoring, sometimes like they're training and some days struggling. But what it is that when teams meet a top team and a fellow top team, especially like Napoli or Inter Milan, they come out and they play some kind of masterclass. And so this is expected to be another test for Antonio Conte. He'd already passed one over the weekend, but this is going to be another test where he comes out to show if his team is really beating the top teams in the league. And that would be interesting to see for Antonio Conte and Atalanta. The rest of the league will just be waiting. That, especially Inter Milan, Atalanta, please just help us reduce the number of points because right now the first person to get a Napoli's cap is going to be celebrated by all. So it's set up for the neutrals. It sets up to be an interesting one.
Definitely set up to be an interesting one. All right, let's head over to Spain and talk about what's been going on there. Now, Real Madrid's away match at Valencia in La Liga this weekend was postponed on Thursday by the Spanish Football Federation due to floods that have killed more than 95 people. Sad state of affairs in
Yes,
Spain, Tega.
sad state of affairs in Spain, and there was no way the football was going to go on. 95 people. And we don't know if those numbers will increase by today. So really tough one for the people of Valencia. We hope that they get all the help they need and all the relief that they require. But what that means is that Real Madrid will now have a game in hand because they're not going to be in action this weekend. But the rest of the teams, Barcelona, Atletico Madrid will continue their La Liga weekend action. And so to be another wonderful time to see Hansi Flick stretch. Let's see if they can dominate and expand their lead at the top. But yes, our hearts and condolences go out to all those in Valencia who have lost lives or property.
Most definitely. All right, let us round up with this story. I mean, going back to the Carabao Cup, we talked about the games that happened in the last round. So the quarterfinals draws have been done, and Man United will visit Tottenham Hotspur in the quarterfinals. Liverpool will play Premier League strugglers Southampton as well. Arsenal host Crystal Palace, while Newcastle are home to Brentford.
Yeah, so some tasty fixtures like Manchester United against Tottenham. So Tottenham must remove the rich part of Manchester United. Now they're aiming for the next of the working part of Manchester United. That's an interesting fixture because both teams have brought out mixed baskets of results. Manchester
Right.
United more so. So it'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Then the London Derby with Arsenal and Crystal Palace. Didn't really talk about Arsenal this weekend because they played against Preston. Everybody expected them to win, and they won. I think what was surprising in that was Mikel Arteta bringing on Saka. But like, for what? You're already winning the game. Why must you kill this boy before you are okay? But yes, those are interesting fixtures, and let's see how it turns out for all the teams that are featuring in them.
All right. Let's take a couple of your messages as we bring the locker room to a close this morning. AY from Minoru says, Ten Hag got fired, and a day later, the Man United boys scored 5 goals. I smell sabotage.
You know?
Well, I will not comment on that. Tayo says, Chelsea with their 42-man squad can now give Maresca a headache with limited games. I hope Onana was taking notes on how to keep. On Amorim, I'm a patient man. I'll wait for him like I did ETH. Pep and his team were laughing before crashing out of the Carabao Cup. Well, your life comes at you really fast, is all I can say. Okay, let me just take these ones that came in on YouTube really quickly. Chimobi Victor says, may the soul of those in Valencia rest in peace while for the Carabao Cup. Man United v Tottenham will surely be a cracker as Man United will be happy they won't be playing Man City. All right, thank you for the messages there. And of course on WhatsApp as well. Thank you so much, Tega, for coming through.
All right, thank you so much, and once again we apologize for all for the delay in the start of the locker room. But when we come your way again on Monday, remember what we do every weekend. Pray that your team is not fodder for banter. Have a fantastic weekend.
All right, have a fantastic weekend, Tega. And that prayer is something that I'm always, always, always saying. No banter will come my way on Monday. Thank you for being a part of the locker room and keep it tuned to Smooth 98.1. You love music, love live station. The Smooth Breakfast will continue.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.